Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of PMP's Den of Antiquities. Today, I have another chapter in the Star Wars Perspective podcast, and I am joined by Sawyer. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long day, but it's always nice to come home and talk about Star Wars. So,
of course, yes.
It's a good day. I know you're on a little bit of a time crunch, so we'll just kind of get right into it. What got you into Star Wars?
I've always been interested. I was kind of a tomboy growing up, so I was always a Star Wars fan. I had a Star Wars birthday party when I was 5, and
that's rad.
So I've always liked it, but this is gonna be a hot take, but it wasn't honestly, The Force Awakens got me back into it, and maybe that's not that hot of a take because a lot of people, I feel like, have more negative energy towards the other two of the sequels and right. Don't hate The Force Awakens as much. I like the sequels. I'm kind of a love all Star Wars type person.
Right on.
But yeah, it wasn't until The Force Awakens came out that I because I was in my teens, my mid-teens, and that's when you have your hyperfixations, and I was doing the Doctor Who thing, and then The Force Awakens came out, and I was like, oh, okay, it's Star Wars time.
Okay, yeah. Dude, there was so much hype around The Force Awakens. I remember, I think it was, when did Force Awakens come out? Was it I think it was 2015, 16, something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, I think I was a year or two into college or something like that at that point, and I was like, oh man, because it wasn't as big as a gap as Return of the Jedi to Phantom Menace, but it was still a decent gap. Yeah, and it was awesome. So okay, cool. So Force Awakens kind of got you back into it. Do you have, if you had to pick and I know this one's always kind of a stumper question. If you had to pick one thing from Star Wars, what would be your favorite thing?
Oh, could it be anything?
Yeah, I mean, it could be the vehicles, it could be lightsabers, it could be the characters, the Force, whatever you want.
Oh gosh, that is a very broad question.
I know, it's tough.
Oh, man, okay. I would say the Sith as a concept.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on. So I know I've done a little bit of research. I found funny enough, I found you from the I think they call it Nerd Theory. Josh and Theory. Yeah, that's where I originally found you from. And I don't know if you remember, we actually had a snippet of conversation on your TikTok. We were talked about Starkiller for a brief second. And whether he should be in canon. I know it was I think it was 3 months ago or something like that. But yeah, how did you get into being a lore master?
I ask myself that every day. I'd been on TikTok for a while. I was part of that, mass onslaught of people who joined TikTok because of COVID. And I did not even join TikTok to be, everyone joins TikTok to be TikTok famous. Number one, I didn't think it would work. Number two, I wasn't planning on doing Star Wars content, but I had made this one video that attracted a lot of attention, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the only type of people I know how to attract. Okay, fine. And I just been making Star Wars memes and following trends and stuff, and I had a decent following. I think I was around 10K, 12K by the end of last year.
Oh, cool.
But then I hit a slump, and I was like, why are all these people that I know doing so well? What am I doing wrong? And the TikTok algorithm, it's not that I was doing anything wrong, but I needed a niche. And a friend of mine was suggested to me that I make this video about Revan, and I didn't even know anything about the Old Republic, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I did, and it did so well. And I had recently met a couple other lore masters, and they became dear friends of mine, and I was like, I want to do that. How do I do that? And then my entire life became reading books, comics, playing video games, doing literally everything you need to do, because there are some accounts on TikTok that they'll just sit there and you can totally tell that they're just reading the Wikipedia page off screen. That's not what I do.
For sure.
That's not what I want to do, so I was like, no, I'm gonna read everything, I'm gonna do all this. I played KOTOR played KOTOR 2 times in a row. I've played KOTOR 3 times in a row. I just, I just went nuts until I knew everything there was to know.
Right.
About that stuff. So, and I'm still, I mean, you can't, there's so much Star Wars. So like, I won't
it's
be
ridiculous.
done for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's how. So.
Okay, cool. Would you do you have maybe any advice for somebody who's trying to get into being a lore master? Like, I guess just do your research would probably be the the topic.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, I think like be ill-advised to use resources like Wikipedia. Like, definitely as a jumping off point, that's a good resource, but it's a fan curated website. And there's a lot of misinformation or a lot of like exaggerated things, or like and the other thing about Wikipedia is everyone can be a member that can edit it, right? But like which is a problem. But some pages are locked. Like the HK47 page is locked.
Oh, really?
And I have read through it, and there's blatantly inaccurate information. Like I have it, like I from the book Revan, like it's not correct, and I can't edit it because whoever like is a moderator in that website will not, like, it's locked. So it's not a good website if you want to. Do not ever cite Wikipedia.
Just spit facts from
never,
it. Yeah, no.
Because you're gonna have people come and be like, "You're wrong." You want to be able to hold up a book or an encyclopedia or a comic. You want to like know where your stuff is coming from,
right?
And then I guess something else I would say is like, if you don't have access to, like, if you can't just go to a bookstore and buy all those books. Start small. Start with the video games. You can look them up online and you can watch playthroughs.
For sure,
I don't have a PS4, but I've dabbled a little bit in like horror video game content. I just watch tons of playthroughs and then I go back and I do more research. Like, that's a really easy way to make sure you have the right information. But if you can't necessarily, like, you're not in a position to buy all the materials.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed you've been doing some Resident Evil stuff, right? That's the game. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I've seen it.
Finally, I've been able to actually like play Resident Evil 7. That's my favorite one, but because my boyfriend has a PS4 all summer, I wasn't around. I have a Switch.
Oh, that's cool.
It. Right on. And KOTOR's coming to the Switch in November, so I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like this past couple of weeks was the first time I've ever actually been able to play Resident Evil. So, while that was cool and all, I already knew everything because I watched so many playthroughs. So yeah. Right,
for sure. How do you feel about them announcing that they're remaking the Knights of the Old Republic games?
Oh my gosh, that's well, nobody told me, right? Like, I did not hear about it until 6 or 7 hours after it was announced. I don't know what I was doing. But I've like been so ingrained in like Marvel lately that I'm like, Star Wars obviously is always there, but like I've been like really on the what if train. I came from trying to film a TikTok from my Loki cosplay, but my crown broke.
Big sad.
So I have to fix that. But like, yeah, I mean, that's where my headspace has been at. So I didn't even know. And then I saw it and I was like, why didn't anybody tell me? That's like my thing. I'm the Old Republic girl. I'm so excited. There was a rumor about it, we thought it was going to happen, but we didn't know if it was going to be a remaster versus a remake. And they're like, no, this is a remake. And, I don't really know. I think a lot of people are iffy because they don't know Aspire as, a, game production company. They mostly just do like mods or remake or remasters.
Right, for sure.
So, but I mean, remakes are kind of a new, like, they're not a new thing, but it's kind of a new thing to do like go all out and do a remake, Final Fantasy VII and a Resident Evil 2 and like, these big remakes. Dead Space is getting a full-on remake.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. That's cool.
Like, that stuff is, like, what you do now, and all of those things. Dead Space hasn't come out yet, but, like, those games are really good.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm pretty optimistic.
Heck yeah.
Someone told me the other day that Revan is redesigned. People are pissed off about that. And I'm like, what redesign? Apparently he has like gold on his mask that I didn't notice before, but I didn't notice. Like, it's so silly.
Right.
People
get attached.
I just don't understand. But I guess one of the game developers is not a fan of the original. But again, people are like, oh my god, they're gonna ruin KOTOR. No, they're not. First of all, you can go play the old one.
Right,
Nobody's stopping you. Second of all, like, you know, that's just one person. It takes more, unless you're Toby Fox, it takes more than one person to make a video game. Like, she's not the only person on the story like board team for that. Sure. So and they did say it's a remake. So yeah, some things are going to be different, but it sounds like from what we know, it's going to be pretty true to form, just, remade for the modern age. And I think it's going to be great, and I think they, one thing I think most people can agree on that Disney has done well is making these canon video games. I don't know a single person who doesn't love Fallen Order.
Yeah, it was great.
So I don't see any reason why they would not say that this KOTOR version is not canon.
Right,
so I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a canon remake. So yeah, I mean, I'm stoked.
Heck yeah. Funny enough, I actually applied to work on that game because they're from Austin, and that's where I am. I'm in Austin. And
in Texas?
Yeah.
My boyfriend is from Austin.
Oh, right on. Yeah, so I it would just had like Asprey, and then it had like parentheses Star Wars, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna hop on that, but unfortunately I didn't get it. But with those Star Wars games, they're gonna hire the best of the best, so they're not gonna hire somebody fresh out of college, unfortunately. But no, when I heard that, I was like, oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool.
I'm pretty. I don't think there's anything. Like, I have told people, like, if they remake KOTOR 2, I'll be mad because I don't want Nihilist to be canon. But
yeah, I've heard your spiel on Nihilist. Yeah. I used to think he would, before I kind of like knew about him, because I thought he had like a cool mask, and then like basically like what you hear, or like because like I didn't play the second. I played the first one, like I think I got like not even midway through. I think I got to like Tatooine, and then I stopped. But for me, it was just the mechanics, man. I really hope they update the mechanics because they're kind of a little clanky and outdated.
I think they. I mean, I don't think. Quite honestly, I don't necessarily think it's going to be an RPG. Like, I think they could completely change the game mechanics, and I don't think people would be upset about that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
or you can make it like a hack and slash or something like that, because usually those type of Star Wars games end up doing, but like Force Unleashed and then Fallen Order were both free, just smacking people and using the Force on people. So I think that'll be cool. I'm fine with it either way, but I think it'll be nice to actually play with like updated graphics and like the whole thing, because it's actually an interesting story. So I'm
as long as they like there's gonna be, if it is canon, like people are gonna have to get over the fact that there's gonna be some story changes. But for the first KOTOR, there only really has to be like a few, like when you get into KOTOR 2, like there's some issues with like the planets and what happens in terms of like how the Force works and whatever, that wouldn't be so easy to make canon. But for the most part, like KOTOR 1 can just be copy and pasted.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't really have any impact on the rest of what is canon in Star Wars.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be any major changes. As long as they don't take any of the like characters out, or don't take away my Bastila Revan love story, like
for sure, yeah. Because they were a dyad, weren't they? Like that was like the
that was like the original concept of a dyad.
Yeah. I think that concept's so cool.
That's the first video. That was the first Lore Master video I made. Was like the comparison between basically like Raylo is the discount Revan and Bastila,
That's funny.
But yeah, I just think that I don't know. Right
on. So now I'm gonna go into, usually I ask like your movie ranking. You can do it from I know it's tough. From you can do it from best to worst or worst to best. It's really up to you.
I don't even think I can do a full list.
You don't think so?
It changes, and then the other thing is like this is a question I do not answer in like live streams and stuff.
Right.
Of sheer like the anger. I have some hot takes, because my least favorite, I can honestly tell you, is Revenge of the Sith.
Really? That's interesting, because that's usually it's usually the opposite for most people. Usually it's in like their top three, like usually.
And I mean, like, but I think people, first of all, people misconstrue the concept of like favorite and best.
Right.
Like, hands down, I think most people could agree that Empire Strikes Back is one of, if not the best Star Wars film.
For sure.
But it's like I feel like I would rank it at like number 2.
Yeah.
I love watching The Rise of Skywalker. Does it have a lot of issues? Yes, but I think it's really fun. I think it features a lot of, you know, planets and concepts that are just, you know, I think 3PO is at his best in that movie. I think he's really running.
Yeah, he's got some really funny quotes.
Yeah, and so like that's my favorite one to watch, but that does not mean I think it's the best, you know? Like,
yeah, well, here, let me preface it this way then. Like, so this podcast is basically like you telling your Star Wars story. So it doesn't really matter what, like, you know, right. I think, or the Joe Schmo down the street thinks, you know, it's really just what, you know, what's your favorite stuff, you know, like, cause that's the whole point of this podcast, is just to get your view on Star Wars. And like I said, I'm not gonna push you if you don't feel like you want to, you know, I'm not trying to be forward with you or anything like that.
No, you're fine. It's just kind of that like Star Wars influencer, like, shield goes up because, like, I don't know, like, well, yeah, I'm friends with Star Wars Theory. Yeah. I gotta put on a face to go on that show, you know, like, I could say one thing that people would misconstrue completely.
Yeah. Well, especially with how much of an audience he has. I mean, I think he has like 3 million subs, you know, so.
You know, and that's not his fault at all. Like, he's
a
dear friend of mine, but like, his audience, you know, if I say something slightly that they don't like, they just go nuts. And so,
that's crazy.
It's like this filter that I have to put on. But no, I mean, I think that, I would say that Rise of Skywalker is my favorite to watch.
That's cool.
And Revenge of the Sith, I don't know what it is. Like, I just feel like the first half is really slow, and then the second half is good. I don't know. I'm not a huge Anakin fan, so I think that's probably what does it for me.
Okay.
You know, he gives me weird vibes.
For sure.
You know, I'm not a huge Anakin fan, so I think that might be what it is. You know, Attack of the Clones is definitely in my top 5 because of nostalgia reasons.
For sure.
So yeah, I mean, all my reasons I think are like pretty solid. They like, you know, Last Jedi's up there. I do tend to put Force Awakens over A New Hope, and the only other person I know who does that is like my Jedi Master, Element 7. He's on TikTok if you're not familiar, but he's like the only other person I know who does that. And I know they're very similar stories, right? But like, I don't know, like, Luke in A New Hope drives me nuts. I'm like, you're so stupid.
Yeah, he is a bit on the whiny side for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, it's just like little nitpicky things that make my list the way it is. Return of the Jedi is up there. Phantom Menace, you know, I can get down with it. Like, it's like, I don't hate any of these films. Like, I love all of them. It's
for
just,
sure.
You know, yeah, I don't know. When I watch Phantom Menace, I'm just like, it's not that bad. It's you know, like, I don't know. I've never had a huge issue with Jar Jar and stuff. So
yeah, same here. I got to actually, I don't know where it is. I think it's in my other room, but I have like a Jar Jar watch, and it has like him with his little, like, you know, and he shoots his tongue out at like the vendor. It has like that little creature on it and stuff like that. I thought he was a really funny character. I mean, I see some of the beef that some people, but he was there for the kids, man. I mean, Star Wars is for kids. Like, whether you agree or disagree, Star Wars is for kids, and he was there to make the kids laugh. And I know, me growing up as a kid, I thought he was super funny, you know, and I loved him.
When I had like arguments with other adults about this, and I'm like, I don't know if you have read any of the High Republic books.
I haven't. No, I've listened to a little bit of like people talk about it, but I haven't. I'm not a huge. I have dyslexia, so reading's more of a chore for me than.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Well, either plot summaries, or I've heard the audiobook versions are very good if that's like a thing you do. But anyway, in High Republic, there's this rock, and it's a sentient rock.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Like, it's literally that. It's a junior novel. It's a young adult novel. It's not. Sure. They do have like a line of adult books in the High Republic series, but that one in particular is a young adult novel.
Right.
There is a sentient rock that you don't know for the entire movie or the entire book until the very end if it's just a rock or if it's actually sentient. So that's for children. It was not written for adults, and people are like this is so stupid. I'm like, it's not for you. This is like for a 12-year-old who's like, so
yeah, Star Wars fans definitely fixate on like things, and like I've always been in the mindset, and that's a reason why I kind of started this podcast, because I think if we got a little bit more people to kind of be like that, like for me the sequels didn't really speak to me all that much. So like I don't hate on them, like I'll still watch them and stuff like that. Just like for me, like Luke is my favorite character. And I can understand like the direction they took with Luke. I see, characters go through a whole bunch of different arcs and stuff like that. It happens. But for me, that wasn't my version of Luke. So like, that's why I said they just didn't speak to me. But I think, for somebody like you who like really love the sequels, like, well, how is it my right to tell you, like, no, you're wrong for liking this, or no, you don't know Star Wars. Do you even know who Revan, that's a lot of the funny ones. Like, do you even know who Revan is, and stuff like that. People always say stuff like that, but
yeah. And I don't even like him. Like I will no, that's not true. I do love Revan, but I hate like someone will be like, oh, Darth Revan was such a good Sith. No, he wasn't. Like he was a Sith for 2 years. 2 years.
Really? Dang.
Yes. And people don't, like, they either don't know that or they're not paying attention. I'm like, boy, 2 years of his entire life. But maybe 2.5. But yeah, no, I mean, like, people get so caught up, like, and they think Star Wars was written for them.
Yeah.
And just them. And I don't really see that in a lot of other fandoms. I get it, like it's a really easy franchise to get attached to, but it's not just for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, have you seen Visions? Like, have you watched it all? What did you think of that?
So I'm not a huge anime fan. But it doesn't mean anything. I just haven't, really gotten
dived into it.
Anime. But I will say, my boyfriend's not a Star Wars person, but he really liked Visions because he is an anime person.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's one interesting thing about this new series, is that it's like, it's opening a new audience to Star Wars.
Right.
That's like something I got to witness firsthand. I think my one critique is that every single episode had a Jedi in it.
Right. Yeah.
Or a Sith, like every single protagonist got a lightsaber, and like I would have liked to have seen, with the exception of like the Tatooine Rhapsody, because the Padawan didn't end up using his lightsaber, but I would have liked to see a little more variety in terms of like the different worlds that can be explored in Star Wars.
Definitely.
That being said, I thought the animations were really good. A lot of the stories I really, really enjoyed, and I think it was a really healthy thing for Star Wars to make a series that is not canon.
I completely agree.
Just play around and emphasize that these are not canon, they're just for fun.
Yeah.
I think that was something that the fandom really needed for a lot of various different reasons. But, everybody's always on that, like, canon, not canon, like, and I think doing this was really good for Star Wars. I would really like to see a season 2, and I hope that they do a season 2, and at the very least give some of them sequels. I think people would really like to see where a couple of those stories go beyond.
Yeah. I think they set them up like that too, because some of them just end, and you're just like, oh, okay, you want more, like, especially like that. For me, like, I really liked the first one. I liked the design, the style. It was very I thought like kind of what George Lucas based Star Wars off of, like those old samurai movies. I got a lot of that same vibes. And then also like a Sith kind of hunter, I thought was like the coolest thing. He's like, I'm not a Jedi, and pulls out like a red lightsaber. I was like, how cool is that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I liked that one. I liked, I did like Tatooine Rhapsody. I thought that was cute.
It was a lot of fun. I think Boba Fett bouncing, he's like dancing with his drink or whatever.
I really liked Toby one. That one was super cute. And the Ninth Jedi is the one that people are going crazy over. For sure, yeah, that one was good. That one was good, and I really liked the one where what is it, Akakiri, when he like saves his, like, it was a kind of like an Anakin moment, you know, when he like turned to the dark side to save his love. But
okay, so I think it was the last one.
Yeah, that one was weird, but like in a cool way. Like, I don't know, like they definitely, the different vibes that were explored with the show and having it be, you know, all these different studios making their mark on Star Wars. I thought it was super cool to see that. You could definitely tell that some of the artists were bigger fans than others,
right,
or you know, wanted to emphasize that in some way. But and then the other one, you know, I wasn't what is it even called? Oh, Lop and Ocho. I wasn't crazy about the episode, but the way it ended was like not happy, you know?
Yeah.
Like it ended sad, like, okay. And I liked that a lot.
I liked the themes in that one. I liked the, you know, like it was kind of like something like in the sequels that I didn't have a problem with. It's like, it was like at the end, like Rey picked her family sort of thing. Yeah. And like the, Lob was the bunny character, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like, she like picked her family, and then the father was like, I accept you, and handed the lightsaber. And I thought that was a really cool theme, you know? And then like the sister and all that jazz. But, is there do you have a favorite TV show, like a favorite, like for you, out of
yeah, it probably Rebels.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool.
I haven't even finished it.
No, Rebels is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do like the Clone Wars, but I think that the non-linearness of it gets confusing, especially in like the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really liked, you know, the strong foundation that was built among just a small group of characters,
right? Which
is, you know, what Rebels is. So yeah, probably Rebels. Mando's good too, but
Mando's great. Yeah. What did you think of Bad Batch? I know, because that just wrapped.
I liked it. It was not. I have no problems with it, except for I'm a little tired of Dave Filoni.
Really?
I'm a little tired of him because now that he is like who he is in Star Wars, his favorite thing to do is just put so many cameos in his episodes, and I'm just, you know,
You're just done. You're just done with the cameos.
I thought some of the cameos were really good and really well placed. You know, I really liked the Rex episode, and you know, it was nice to revisit some of those characters, but literally after episode 2, every single episode has a cameo from somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think it needed to be that way at all. But I did like it. The other thing I would say, though, is it's not a show for new Star Wars fans. That show is for Clone Wars fans, right?
Definitely.
Like, I really liked seeing, you know, I think that I really liked how they played with showing us the true aftermath of the war ending and how the rise of the Empire affected, like, you know, families or different, you know, communities on different planets. I thought that was really interesting to explore. But, you know, thinking in terms of like, oh, if I had a child, I would not be like, oh, let's start you with the Bad Batch. Whereas
right, yeah.
If I had a child when the Clone Wars was coming out, I might be like, oh, this is a good entry point, you know?
For sure.
So I did not feel that way at all. I like it, but it was made for Clone Wars fans. It wasn't made for
definitely. 100%.
You know, I don't think if they aired it on like Disney Channel or something, I don't think it would do well, because you need so much context in order to fully enjoy it. Definitely.
All right, so now I have a little segment called Mynonk Minutes, where I just kind of like lob questions at you. You can take as much time as you need to, but they're kind of shorter questions.
Okay.
Who would you pick? You can pick whoever you want to. If you had to pick somebody to be trained by, who would you pick?
Ooh.
Light side, dark side, Mandalorian, whatever you want to. If you had to pick somebody to be your master, who would it be?
If we're saying light side, I would probably say like Avar Kriss from the High Republic. Or if we're saying dark side, that's so tough. I'm like having that thought of like, do I want to be this person or do I want to be trained by this person? Okay, I'll say Darth Bane.
Darth Bane.
I'd be
Okay.
trained by Darth Bane.
Right on, right on. So if you were in the process of creating your own lightsaber, what type of saber would you pick, and then what color would you want?
I actually have had my Jedi Master. He drew my lightsaber for me, so it's double bladed for sure.
Nice.
It's
nice.
red. Gotta be red.
Right on.
And it's kind of a mix. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Old Republic MMO.
So I would the new one, the new, I say new, it came out like a couple of years ago. It's the multiplayer one, right? Online, MMO. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of a mix of Satil Shan's lightsaber, which is double bladed, and it's got all these like really
engravings,
engravings, and Darth Malgus's lightsaber.
Ooh, that one's cool with the emitter. The fins, like it has like
so it's like a double blade, and the middle has like Satil's like design in it, and then the emitters look like Malgus's.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's really dope.
And it's black and gold, so yeah, that's what my saber looks like.
Right on. That's pretty sick. So I guess if you had to be somebody in Star Wars, like you'd be a Sith then, with the red lightsabers. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you have we can do top 3 or top 5 if you have 5, but what are your favorite characters?
Oh gosh, I don't think I can do it in like a particular order.
It doesn't matter. No, just like it doesn't be like I like this one the best. Just 5 or 3, depending on.
Is this like canon, non-canon, both?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Ben Solo is my favorite canon character.
Right on.
Okay. Darth Treya from Legends, Valkorion / Lord Vitiate from Legends.
Treya's she's from the KOTOR 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, she's the one with all the lightsabers that like swirl around.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's cool. On that list of like best video game villains of all time. She's like she's like the GLaDOS of Star Wars, but better.
Okay.
Like her sense of morality, she's great. Okay, that's 3. I would say Elzar Mann from the High Republic, and let's go one more. Probably Padme.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to definitely look some of those up, because the High Republic stuff I didn't really like I said, I haven't read, so I don't really know. So I'll have to look some of them up. And then you said your third was Vitiate, right? And that's the dude from he's the older guy that trains the 2 sons, right? In the in the trailer. Okay, yeah. I know like my knowledge on the Old Republic is like I it's like sprinkled in. Like I know a little bit, but not too crazy much. But right on. So if you could have one force power in real life, what would you pick?
See, that's tough, because I always, I would be a Sith, but also I am not, like, inherently, that's not the kind of person that I am. Honestly, though, who wouldn't want Force Lightning?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Even if I used it for good or something, I don't know how I would, but, like...
Yeah, I guess you could do, like, kind of like Plo Koon. He had, like, Force Judgment, which is a little different, but, I don't know, lightning's lightning to me. I don't know how it's that much different. But do you have a favorite Star Wars planet?
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Okay. What about your favorite creature? Do you have a favorite Star Wars creature?
To eat, or like because everything in Galaxy's Edge is alien. I have to think about that. I've always kind of liked the banthas. I think they're super cute.
Yeah, same. Those are my favorite as well. So those are really cool. So now we're kind of moving past the Mynonk Minutes, and we're talking about like the future of Star Wars. What projects are you most excited for?
KOTOR remake. Yeah. My answer for a long time has been the Acolyte, because that is High Republic era, and it's also our Sith show. Right. We never had anything like that, so I'm super stoked for that. But my number one has to be the KOTOR remake.
Right on.
It's a dream come true. Really, when that announced, I was like, okay, we need to, because I've been kind of not on a hiatus, but my content's been really slow recently, and I'm like, you're never gonna get the PR copy if you don't hurry it up. So that's like my dream, is for Disney to be like, here is your PR copy of KOTOR. Yeah, I would say those two projects. But I'm also really looking forward to Kenobi.
Yeah, I think everybody's super stoked.
I need a little bit of a Filoni break, so I'm pretty excited for that too.
Right on. So Acolyte takes place like 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
I think so, yeah.
And then they said like it was leaked or something like that they were gonna have like a female protagonist, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool because I don't think. To mine, I'm trying to think. We haven't seen a live action female Sith, right? I mean, there's Ventress, but she's never been in live action before.
Right.
So that'll be cool, man. That'll be cool. Mm-hmm. I was really hoping that we would get. I'm reading Plagueis right now. That's like my first like entry Star Wars book that I'm reading, and I'm really enjoying that story. So I hope we get maybe. Even if it's not canon, I think that'd be kind of cool. It's because they're kind of branching out with non-canon stuff to get maybe a live action or even like an animated Plagueis story. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If Lucasfilm called you up and was like, Sawyer, we need an idea and we'll go with anything you want, movies, books, video games, what would be your pitch to them for something that you want to see?
I would like a canon Darth Kreia story.
Okay, that'd be dope. That'd be real dope.
Either a film or like a mini series.
Okay, cool.
I don't want Nihilus to be canon. Like I want them to like throw him out if they're gonna remake KOTOR 2. But she deserves to be canon, I think.
Okay, cool. Right on. Well, I really think that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to actually come on my podcast and talk a little bit of Star Wars with me.
I'm so sorry that it took me so long. Just like the last weekend got away from me. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, no worries. Like I said, hey, we're just two nerds talking about Star Wars. It's nothing too groundbreaking or anything like that. But did you have anything you wanted to plug for the listeners?
Honestly, it's just my TikTok, Sawyerism, Twitter, Instagram. I have a hypothetical podcast that should be starting soon called Hyperspace Asylum.
Oh, cool.
But that doesn't even have a logo yet, so we're not 100% sure what the details are on that, but it's going to be a lore-based podcast, I can tell you that.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so those are the things. But I'm doing a series right now breaking down all of the main KOTOR characters for people who don't have the time or don't want to play it. So you come find me on TikTok, I'll break it down for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have all those linked down below so they can find you. And yeah, thank you again for coming on. And
thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, likewise. And thank you if you guys have made it this far in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. May the Force be with you.